Hey there, boys and girls. Today we'll be doing Dragon of the Abyss, or commonly called Shinryu. We need to use green magic, evoke Shiva and Rama, beat him within 25 turns. We'll be taking Stefan's King Rain with us this time. Roulette is the biggest mechanic in this trial. I want to go over that before we actually go into the fight. Roulette's only going to affect the people that's not one-shotting this boss. Both my clears are going to be one-shot. I want to do it with Rain. I want to do it with Wulong. Obviously, Wulong does it better. We're going to take special care to make sure like Rain gets there. If you're not comfortable or you don't think you have the gear to one-shot, it doesn't take extreme gear by any means, by the way. This trial is pretty power crept, so I feel like a lot of people can do this. But like I said, if you're not confident in your ability to one-shot this boss, turn 2 is always safe to push thresholds on. Just mechanically, it's just the safest turn to do it. And like I said, I'll cover Roulette after I go over the units. Ignacio is going to be here primarily for his Fire Imperil. He's going to be dispelling the boss and reapplying the Imperil in the same turn. He's going to be our Provoke tank for this one. I did not gear him for passive Provoke because I would need to use some STMRs to get the full evade, passive Provoke, and the water resist that I want for this trial. So we're going to be hard casting his Provoke skill. Yes, he does actually have one, if you didn't know. Cecil's going to be our magic tank for this one. I picked Cecil because he can give us an earth resist buff from his kit. You can equip like Titan or Golem on your tank and get an earth resist buff that way as well if you want to use Charlotte. Edgar is going to be our breaker. Like I said, because we're going for a one-shot with King Rain, we need some strong breaks and a strong Imperil. So we're going to bring Edgar for the breaks, Ignacio for the Imperil. Dr. Aiden's going to be our healer. The common question is going to be on this one. Should I, who do I substitute Dr. Aiden for? Lena will work just fine. I want to be using Dr. Aiden's like turn 1, 180% buffs. If you take Lena, for example, like use her general mitigation turn 1 and something like her stat break reduction ability turn 1. I like Dr. Aiden because he can cure things after the fact. So, you can kind of do something that turn and then still take care of your primary job. This is my King Rain. High attack, lots of LB damage, lots of Dragon Killer. Could work out quite well. And this is Stefan's King Rain. He's got the Aegeon arm equipped, which has higher variance than King Rain's own STMR. It's a great substitute if you don't have King Rain's STMR. He's got plenty of Dragon Killer. He's got really good attack, and he's got some decent hit points. Like I said, depending on which healer you take, like we'll let you have access to certain buffs turn 1. That way you survive pretty much the only turn that's going to do damage to us on this one. Roulette, the way it works, every time you push a threshold, I've got the thresholds listed over there. The boss is going to like do his normal actions that he would do for his turns. The boss is like a scripted 5-turn rotation, and at the end of all that, he's going to do roulette, basically where he goes through and picks a character. If he picks one of your guys, he's going to kill that unit. There's no way to prevent it. The unit's just going to be dead. If he picks himself, he's going to get a big attack and magic buff, get really pissed off, and nuke you pretty hard. I feel like a lot of that is survivable. I just want to mention roulette is a thing. If you try to one-shot the boss and you end up at like 10% or something like that, it could get you into trouble. So just take note, of how much damage you're doing. It's 10 energy. You can try lots of different teams on this. If it doesn't work for you, like I said, turn 2 is always safe. Enough talking, let's get to killing. You can also do a reflect thing to make sure that the roulette always goes to your units, and that way Shinryu doesn't get that buff. Like I said, if this was like 5 months ago when this trial was supposed to come out, we would probably do that. Not quite necessary now. So this is the preemptive attack. It's a giant water attack. You need 100% water resist to fully immune it. Obviously the Rains could not do that. So with Dr. Aiden, we're going to get our Rains back into action. Revive all allies, and then I want to use his stat buff. Since I don't have general mitigation turn 1, the stat buff that I want to be getting is the next best thing. Go ahead and fire that off first. Jump all the way down to the bottom of Ignacio's kit and provoke. And with Cecil, I'm going to into the dark so I can get access to his earth resist buff, and I'm going to do a magic cover. And then with Edgar, we're going to do his cooldown break. I'm not dealing with the bosses like preemptive defensive spirit buff quite yet. As you can see, with a buff, no mitigation whatsoever, our units had 0 problem surviving. The rest of the damage right here is going to go to your magic tank. And because of how we're going to go through this, a lot of these like turns right here are not going to be dangerous for us because we're not going to push the boss to a threshold or anything right here, so these are always safe turns for us. We're going to get Ignacio to go ahead and get the green magic out of the way. Oh, I should have mentioned, on my units, if you guys pulled on the Final Fantasy X banner that we just had, Bonds of the Eons came from Isaru, the 4-star. It's really handy to get these Esper missions out of the way. As you can see, like, you know, we hit the stat requirement that we needed for this trial. So instead of like just getting superfluous stats that we didn't need, I threw Bonds of the Aeons in there on pretty much every one of these characters. That way we get a lot of passive Esper fill. They don't stack, so it's only one per character. As you can see, we're already ready to throw out an Esper on turn 2. Summon Rama. And then with Rain, I'm going to do a Blaze Saber and a Force Saber. Basically just to keep his MP up. And it's going to give us triple cast next turn, which is nice. We'll chain Rain off. And then with Cecil, we're going to get a Earth Resist buff and then just double cover. Nothing for Edgar to do right here. All the damage on this turn is going to go to your magic tank. Your provoke tank is going to evade all the single target attacks. This is completely safe. And then since we had the Earth Resist buff, we're resisting this physical attack. Alrighty, with Rain, I want to put a little damage into Shinryu. The reason being, I can take him from 100 to dead, but I feel like if we soften him up just a little bit, it makes it maybe a little easier if you're on like the verge of being able to do that. Because when I was testing this earlier, I did have some like attempts where I would have the boss at like 6% or something like that. So, you know, we're just going to hit him a little bit to knock him down. I'm withholding my big cooldown because I'm going to take a Dispel next turn, so I don't want to get my 250% attack buff dispelled. So go ahead and fire this off. Let's get Aiden to go ahead and cure these stat breaks. And then too, another thing is that, you know, we're going to get Esper gauge out of this. If our Esper bar fills right here, we can fire off an Esper with Cecil. If like I said, you don't have like 5 of the Bonds of the Eons like I do, you're going to have an opportunity on turn 5 to summon an Esper as well. Alrighty, Ignacio is just going to refresh his provoke. And Edgar's just going to defend. The only thing that's going to happen on turn 3 is basically a gravity attack. It's going to take us all down really low. And then he's going to target one of your units and petrify it. Now this petrify, all throughout the fight, it's going to dispel. Then it's going to imperil. Then it's going to apply the petrify. So you're always going to be taking it. And you have to pay attention right here where it went to Rain. Since he got dispelled, he's going to lose his imbue. So we have to put that back up. And he lost his Earth Resist buff as well. We'll go ahead and have Aiden remove that. And then I'm going to fully restore my hit points. And on this turn right here, I want to have Ignacio dispel the boss. It's a layered buff. We're familiar with that on Global now. So like if we dispel it on this turn, it won't be in effect for the next turn. So we'll do Termination Stamp and Crush Stamp. Dispel Imperil. We'll get Cecil to refresh that resist buff and then just double cover. Now right here is when we want to power up Rain. It's turn 4. So we need to get ready to kill him on turn 5. Soul Blood, Complete Awakening. Which one? Which Rain was this? My Rain needs to do a fire. You. Soul Blood, Awakening, and a fire. This Rain right here, he's still imbued because he didn't get dispelled. He can just do Grand Shelt Saber. I'm still defending Edgar. I don't feel like I need breaks this turn. So we did roughly 11% damage to the boss. You know, if you can get closer to 85%, it makes it a little bit safer. And then since we got our resist in order, we resist all the earth attacks and whatnot. Your passive provoke doesn't need earth resist per se, because the earth attack is a physical attack that can be evaded, so don't really worry about that. This is what I was telling you. You know, we have an Esper gauge right here on turn 5 when we're going for our one shot, so you know, no worries there if you didn't get it last turn. Go ahead and summon it anyways. Ignacio has nothing to do this turn, so if you need to do green magic again, by all means. We'll have Edgar do Glory Figaro for the 84% breaks. We'll get Rain's Limit Burst ready to go. He's got his own 250% attack buff, so don't really have to worry about that. Like I said, you can do green magic here if you forgot to do it earlier, and then we'll just LL DPS the boss. Nice and easy. Another thing is after you kill the boss, he's going to do like one last attack. If you geared your magic tank properly for this fight, you're going to be safe. I don't think Aiden has re-raise like straight up. He can cast it. If you're uncomfortable with this right here, Aiden can triple cast re-raise. As long as there's a unit still alive at the end, you're going to be fine. Ignacio can just defend. I doubt this will kill any of our characters, to be perfectly honest with you. Final attack, there's Giga Flare. Oh well, it killed a couple of guys. But like I said, our magic tank survived handedly because he had the resist to resist the other attacks the boss does. Really, you shouldn't die right there. So there you go, Shinryu in a nutshell. Hopefully I explained things well enough. Like I said, if you're not comfortable trying to one-shot the boss, turn 2 is always a very good turn to do a lot of damage to the boss. I'm not sure if his thresholds like back up. Like say you push him from like 100 to 50. I'm not sure if the thresholds back up. It's been a minute since I've worked on this trial. But like I said, I feel like a lot of people can really just one-shot this thing. Hope you guys liked the video. We got Riku from Final Fantasy X/2. I guess that's how you say it. Riku's a very good breaker. I'm going to be pulling for her Saturday on stream. Stream starts at 5. I'm going to be pulling around 5:30. I want to do the 25k, so we're guaranteed the Riku at the end. If we get 2 of them, well, if we get 2 of them, I'm stopping, but I want to get at least 1. I've got the ticket to save me at the end, then I'll USC the dupe. But like I said, hope you guys liked the video. Have a good rest of the week. Toodaloo.